And we're live now. Good afternoon, good evening, good afternoon. Welcome to my channel, Seek David Sports, when I do sports content and interviews with athletes and sports related people. And today I have a great guest, former world light heavyweight champion Glen Johnson, the Road Warrior who fought some of the best names of his time, and we can say one of those old school fighters that dare to fight the best, and his resume is amazing. And we're going to talk about some of his great fights and wins during his fighting days. So, Glenn, welcome to my channel. Welcome to my space. It's a pleasure and honor to have you here, man. How are you?
Hey, thanks for having me, man. I appreciate it. I'm good, man. I'm good. I'm just outside the gym, cause it's music and it's very noisy in there. So, just outside the gym now, talking to you, so we can hear each other.
No worries. It's a pleasure to have you here. So, let's talk a little bit about your beginnings in the sport, where you grew up, and how did you start with boxing?
Well, um, you know, one day I was laying in bed and my then wife touched my stomach and said, "Huh, you're putting on some weight. You're getting fat." I was about 20 years old at that time, so I was like, shoot. And I need to start working out because, I don't want to get fat. And then I went to a building that I heard they was working on to make it into a gym. And I saw the guy that was there. I talked to him, and he told me if I live in the area, it was free. It was gonna be a boxing pal gym. So and they was gonna open up in about a month. So a month time, I was in there, starting to train, and just fell in love with the sport.
Oh, okay. And where are you from?
Originally, I'm from Jamaica. Came to Miami '84 when I was 14 and started boxing when I was 20, 6 years later.
Okay, so you're from Jamaica, like Mike McCallum, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, yeah, like the great Mike McCallum.
Okay, and let's talk about your amateur career. How many amateur fights you had?
I had 40 amateur fights. I was 30, 35 and 5.
Okay, and do you ever manage like to fight for a championship, like a Golden Gloves championship?
Yeah, I fought in a couple of Golden Gloves, won a couple of championship, also won the Sunshine State Game championship as well here in Miami, in Florida.
Okay, uh, let's talk about now. Let's go to your pro career now, and let's talk about the chance that you had about your title shot, your first title shot against Bernard Hopkins back in 1997. So, how do you remember that fight against Hopkins?
Yeah, I remember that I was excited to get a title shot and feel like I was going to beat up at that time Bernard Hopkins. He was older than me, so I felt like I was the younger guy going in there to teach him a lesson. But he kicked my butt and teach me a lesson. So let me know that I wasn't ready for big time boxing yet. So I had to go back to school.
Oh wow! And as we know, you fought a legend, a Hall of Famer, the last undisputed world middleweight champion in the four belt era, which is Hopkins. And how much did it hurt not being able to win that championship fight against Hopkins?
Oh man, anybody who start boxing, they always start boxing willing want to become a world champion. So when you get the title shot, man, you put everything into it. You're hoping to win, and it hurts. It's devastating when you don't win. But it's also a wake up call. For me, that's what it taught me that I wasn't ready. I needed to learn more. and I needed to get better. So that's how I took it, and I took that loss and went back to the gym and started to work on other things, trying to see how I could be better.
Okay, I perfectly understand that. So let's go way back. Let's go forward and let's talk about your fight against Sven Otke in Germany 2 years later in '99. So how do you remember that fight with Otke?
I feel like I won that fight. Obviously, it was super middleweight. I felt like it was time for me to move up from the middleweight division where I fought Bernard Hopkins. So I felt like I was more ready and more prepared for this fight, and I felt like I went in there and fought a close fight. But again, this is in Germany, fighting a German fighter. It's not good enough. You have to beat the champion, I guess, straight out of domination or knock him out to win in a foreign country. So I end up losing that fight as well. So now I lost two world titles. So yeah, so now it's you feel like you're not going to accomplish your goal now because you got your two shot and you didn't do it. But I still went back to the gym and still work hard again and know that I needed to get better because not even just because it was a close fight. I needed to find a way how to win.
Okay. And let's remember that you had the chance to fight in Germany. It was like a new country for you. It was you had like a chance to know a little bit of that country. So what was that experience to be able to fight in another country and probably had a chance to know a little bit of the city that you fought?
Well, in boxing, you travel a lot. You go to a lot of different countries, different states, different places all the time. So yeah, it was nice. I mean, I like Germany. Germany have a lot of history and stuff, which I know a little bit about. So it was nice going over there and see some of the things that you read about, and yeah, it was fun. It was a good experience outside of not winning. It was a good experience.
Okay, and then after that, you had another title shot, if I'm not mistaken, against Silvio Branco for the WBU World Championship in Italy. So, what was that experience to fight in Italy, and how do you remember your fight with Branco?
Well, with Bronco, that was a straight robbery. I think Bronco might have won one of those rounds that we fight the 12 rounds. I beat him every round outside of that one round, and that was a close round, could have gone either way. And they gave it to him. That was the worst robbery of my career, of many robberies. But yeah, Bronco robbery stand out the biggest robbery of my career.
Okay, now let's keep going. Let's keep going forward. After fighting Branco, you had several more fights, and you also fought this fighter from Mexico, former world light heavyweight champion, which is Julio Cesar Gonzalez. So, how do you remember that fight with Gonzalez?
Well, Gonzalez, that was a good fight. Another fight that was in Vegas. That fight, I beat this guy. They robbed me. He was supposed to fight Roy Jones right after me. They already have their deal and everything in place for the Roy Jones fight. So they wasn't going to take the whooping that I gave him. So they just straight took my win and gave it to him.
Okay, and then, okay, now let's go to the 2003 when you had your first title shot against Clinton Woods in Sheffield, in England. So, how do you remember that first fight with Clinton Woods?
So we went to Sheffield, England to fight Clinton Woods. That was in his hometown. And we went to fight Eliminator for the number one spot. I gave him a proper beat down, gave him a proper whooping, and at the end of the night, they call it a draw. They call it a draw. Um, he, my manager and of some other people made a big uproar about it. And the IBF mandate a rematch, and on the rematch, um, Antonio Tarver was supposed to fight Ry Jones Jr. So he vacate the belt that we was fighting for the number one spot for. So they turned that belt, that fight into a title fight for us to fight for the title instead of the eliminator. And the second fight. So I went to Sheffield, England again on a rematch with Clinton Woods, and then come out of that with a unanimous decision and become world champion for the first time. I was super excited. Um, you know, feel like I accomplished my goal that I set out to do from from day one in the gym. Once I decided to be a boxer, and yeah, I felt that was right at the time. I said it was about time I accomplished this goal.
Yeah, I know. I saw that after the draw against Woods, you managed to beat him in the rematch, and you became world light heavyweight champion. And not only that, you wrote like another golden page in Jamaican sports history, if we can say it, because you became another world champion in Jamaica's history. So, what was it like for you to finally become world champion, to have that like, taste of glory in that night?
Oh, well, it meant everything, man. I mean, that's what you've been working for years and years and years. I mean, if I remember correctly, that's already about 15 years from the day I start boxing up until when I became world champion. It took 15 years to accomplish that goal. So, that's 15 years of working hard to accomplish something and finally get it. So, I mean, word can't explain what I feel like.
Uh, yeah, I can understand that. And then your first title defense was against, let's say, one of the all-time greats, which was Roy Jones Jr., and where you stopped him in the ninth round, which was one of the best knockouts of that time. So, how do you remember that fight with Roy Jones Jr.?
Oh yeah, I mean, this was an exciting fight for me because with Roy Jones, I remember I used to tell people I could beat Roy Jones, even some of my friends, and they would laugh at me and say Roy Jones would kill me. So once I got the Roy Jones fight, I was very dedicated in put a master plan together because I know fighting Roy Jones, you can't stand around and let Roy Jones use his athleticism. You have to go and attack him. So for me, I was very prepared to fight tough for 12 rounds. And actually, when I was when I went to the ring to fight Roy Jones, one of his friends said to me that I should just give him the belt because I already lost. And I know I just told you that I spent 15 years trying to get this belt and finally got it. And this man is telling me without me trying to just hand it over to him. So that really pissed me off. So I couldn't wait for the bell to ring. And as if you watch that fight, you can see how I came out in that first round. That was just pure anger pouring out of me, coming out in that fight. And I just hold on to that momentum and fought for 9 rounds until the knockout came.
Oh wow! I remember watching that fight, and you really expect like an outcome. I know that of course, you thought you could beat him, but do you really expect that knockout in the way you did? Because he was like knocked out cold in that ninth round.
Yeah, I mean, I didn't expect that knockout to happen like that, obviously, but I just expect to have victory. And I know for me to have victory, it would have to be a stoppage. So, either I was going to end up hitting him and he wasn't able to continue, or they was going to stop the fight. But it was hard for me to win a decision over Roy Jones with the experiences that I have winning decisions over fighters that's famous already.
Okay, now let's keep going forward and let's talk about your two fights with Antonio Tarver. So how do you remember those fights with Tarver?
Yeah, so with the first fight, with Tarver, we had to, go into training to fight a southpaw. Tarver is a big guy. He's able to take a lot of punishment. His size helped him a lot. But we fought 12 tough rounds. I won a decision on the first fight, and we went into we have a rematch, and we went back into training, and we fought a second time, another tough fight. And the judges gave him the second fight. I was in negotiation with my promoter, and because he wanted to re-sign me, and I didn't want to re-sign with him, so I was not surprised of the result when the judges went the other way, because that was something I know going in that was going to be a big possibility.
Okay, so you feel like you did like enough to win the rematch with Tarver?
Yeah, I mean, it was a close fight. It's not. Is I mean, either way, I'm not going to cry about it. Even though if the Tarver won the fight, then that's fine. He won. Because that's not. I mean, I was the champion, but at the end of the day, it is what it is. If they feel like he won the fight, then that's fine. But it was a close fight between both of us. We both fought hard, and they gave him the decision.
Okay, now let's talk about your fight with Clinton Woods, which was in England, if I'm not mistaken, in Bolton. So how do you remember your fight with Clinton Woods?
Yeah, so now there's the rematch with me and Clinton Woods. Now we're fighting for the third time. Now he's the champion for this fight. So we went over there. We fought a hard fight, tough fight, a close fight. Could have gone either way. They gave him the decision. Um, and that was it, man. At that time I was getting a lot older. Everything was kind of, coming to the end of my career. So I get it. You know, it's a tough fight, but it went his way. He's in his own country and stuff. So yeah, it's I wasn't able to beat him again.
Okay, I understand. And then let's talk about another fight with after that Clinton Woods the trilogy. You fought Montel Griffin, who's known for beating Roy Jones Jr. in their first fight. So how do you remember that fight with Montel Griffin?
Yeah, well, Montel Griffin, that fight was very difficult. Montel Griffin he ducks down a lot. He make himself very small. He's already a small person, but so he make himself more small. So it was a tough fight. Very difficult guy to hit. He have a lot of very good defensive skills. But I was able to start catch up with him a little bit later on. As the rounds go by, I start to catch up to him, and I think his corner threw in the towel, and end up stopping the fight.
Okay, okay, I see. And let's talk now about your fights with Chad Dawson, both for the World Light Heavyweight Championship. So how do you remember those fights with Chad Dawson?
Yeah, so I believe the first fight was in Tampa. We fought, which is a fight that I beat him in clearly. I won that fight very clearly. Everybody who saw that fight know that I won that fight. They gave it to him. And then we went and fought him in his hometown on the second fight. And that fight, he beat me clearly. He box move. I couldn't catch up with him. And he was able to be successful in that fight. And they gave him the decision, which he won. He won that fight clearly. I had no problem with that. And yeah, and then that was pretty much it. We moved on from that and tried to find another fight. I know it was coming to the end of my career, and that was pretty much the title shot that I was gonna have. I really felt like it wasn't going to be a chance for me to get another title shot.
Okay, I see. And then in 2010, you had your another title shot, and this time against Tavares Cloud. So how do you remember your fight with Cloud?
Well, Cloud is, that fight is a difficult fight. Cloud is a very strong guy. He's, very physical, very strong fighter. Um, very tough. It was a good fight between he and I. I thought that fight could have gone either way again. Cloud is the champion, so I can see them give him the decision. Um, but yeah, that was a tough fight between Cloud and I. I remember him being super strong. He's the hardest punching fighter that I ever fought against.
Okay, and now and I see that for some fights, then you move down from light heavyweight to super middleweight. Do you know, or can you tell like why you decide to move down from light heavyweight to super middleweight, like to fight guys like Carl Froch?
Yeah, so after the Cloud fight, we went back to the gym. We was training. I was contemplating retirement, and then my manager called me and told me there's an opportunity to get into the Super Six. At that time, they had the Super Six that was going on, where all they took six of who they considered the best six super middleweight champions, or fighters, I should say, and put them. Some of them was including as world champion, and some was contenders. But the so-called six best fighters that they thought was in the weight class, and a couple of them got hurt and dropped out, and they was looking for a replacement, and they were considering me to be one of the replacement if I could make the weight. So we went and we hired a nutritionist. We went to work. We started losing the weight, and we make the weight, and we sign up, and we went and started to compete.
Okay, and let's talk about your fight with Carl Froch. So how do you remember your fight with Carl Froch in Atlantic City?
Yeah, well, Carl Froch is an awkward fighter. He's a little difficult to fight. But he's a very strong guy as well. He and I fought 12 tough rounds. Very competitive. I hit him with some clean shots, but he was able to deal with it and able to sustain it. But I couldn't stop him. I felt like I needed to stop him, and they gave him the decision at the end of the night. He became the Super Six number two guy that night. Then he
Yeah, I hear you. I can hear you, Glenn. Se escucha nada. ¿Qué pasó? Uh, Glenn, I can hear you. I cannot hear you. What happened? Can you hear me? No, I can hear you. What happened? Can you hear me? Hold on, hold on. Let me hold on a second. How about now? Wow, you're gonna get somebody to help you because I can't. Maybe it's a battery. Wow, something happened. Hey Glenn, but I can hear you. I can hear you. I don't know what happened. Wow, what happened?
Can you hear
Now,
me?
yes, now I can hear you.
Okay.
So you were
My
talking.
apologies. Somebody was trying to call me and mess up the whole thing.
No, it's okay. So let's go back about the fight with Carl Froch. What were you saying?
Can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you now. I can hear
I
you
can't
now.
hear you, man.
You can hear me?
I heard you. I heard you early, but now I can't hear you again.
No, you can, but I can hear you perfectly. Hold on. Can you hear me now? Hold on, hold on, hold on. Let me.
Can you
Hold
hear
on.
me?
Wait a minute. Wait. Wait. Wait a minute. Hold on. Wait. Wait.
Wait, wait, wait.
Wait a minute. Wait. Wait, Glenn. Uh, just listen to happen. Well, we had a little issue with the internet, but wow, this is very crazy. This is very crazy. Wow, this is very crazy. But let's see if we can re. Uh, I was talking with Glen Johnson, former world heavyweight champion. We were talking about some of his fights. We mentioned his fights with Brian Hopkins, Clinton Woods, Roger Jr., Neil Tarver, Tavares Cloud. We were talking about his fight with Carl Froch, with Carl Froch. Wow, everything was looking good, but we're going to give him a few minutes. I'm going to give a few minutes until he gets back in. Wow. So that's a little problem. The train, I think something happened. And, uh, well, he's gonna, but I'm going to give him some time. So he manages to go back. Uh, but so far, the interview was doing great, good. The man, talking with a great champion who fought everyone. And I mean, fought Hopkins, Bernard Hopkins, Robert Jr., yeah, Antonio Tarver, Clinton Woods, Carl Fudge. He fought everyone. Some of the best fighters of his time at super middleweight, middleweight and light heavyweight. Oh, shit. Shit. Uh, we're going to, we're going to, well, I'm going to wait until he's able to join back. Mhm. I, there he. Hey, can you hear me now?
Yeah, can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you.
Okay, I can hear you as well.
Okay, so we were talking about your fight with Car Frosh. Sorry, I had to go back again. So how do you remember it?
Yeah, yeah. The car fresh fight, like I said, man, it was a tough fight. He won the fight. Yeah, they gave him the decision, and he was able to move on from that fight to fighting Andre Ward, and Andre Ward ended up beating him and became the super middleweight champion of the Super Six.
Okay, I see. And then after the first fight, you had your fight with Lucian Bute from Romania. So how do you remember the fight with Bute?
Yeah, so Bute and I had a good relationship. We used to help each other. He's also one of the people I spar with when I was going to fight um, Antonio Tarver, because he's a southpaw like Antonio Tarver. So he was very helpful with me, to me, I should say, when I was going to fight Antonio Tarver. Um, so yeah, he gave me a title shot. Had his title in his country. We fought a tough fight. Again, he ended up winning. I believe it was a unanimous decision. Bute is a good fighter, a good southpaw. He's slick, moves around a lot. very difficult to get a good clean shot on him. So he was able to. I believe that fight was in Montreal. Um, Montreal or it could be Quebec. I'm not 100% remember which one it was, but yeah. But anyway, it was a good fight. Very entertaining, and they gave him the decision.
Oh, okay. Now, then you fought after good day. You fought another world champion from Poland, and this one is from Andrei Fonfara. So, how do you remember that fight with Fonfara?
So after after coming from the Super Six, from going down from light heavyweight to super middleweight, now going all the way back to up to cruiserweight. End up in a weight class that I have no business fighting in. Those guys was too big for me, and I fought against a very strong cruiserweight fighter, but I got stopped in that fight. But I actually like because I was able to get to go to the Congo, a place that I always wanted to go visit. So that fight actually brought me to a place that I wanted to go visit for a long time. So it was a bittersweet situation.
Okay. Now that your career is over, so how do you see the state of boxing now? How do you see it now?
I mean, boxing is still entertaining. I just wish the better fighters would fight the better fighters more. But they cherry picking a lot. That's what I see right now. And it's everybody just trying to figure out how they can make the most money, which is fine, I guess. There's nothing wrong with trying to make the most money based on your craft. Um, but there are better fights out there that I think is more entertaining to the fans would like to see. But I understand the business part of it and how they're going about their way. So boxing is good. It's this the state of boxing is in good hands. A lot of these guys are extremely skilled. Crawford is the top better fighters out of all of them. Um, and yeah, I mean, yeah, I'm looking forward to see some good fight. Hopefully, a couple of good matches got made this year.
Okay, let me ask you something. Of all the opponents that you had in your career, which one was the toughest of your career? The best opponent of your career?
Bernard Hopkins by far. It could be I fought him at a time when I didn't have enough skills to compete with him very well. But either way, Bernard Hopkins was the toughest fight of my career.
Okay, and which opponent do you think had the best speed, like the best hand speed?
The best speed, I would say, Andre Dawson. Dawson have a lot of skills, a lot of hand speed. Wright Jones is also another fighter that have a lot of hand speed as well. Um, but yeah, I would go probably Dawson.
Okay, and in your opinion, who was the hardest hitter, the hardest puncher that you ever fought in your career?
The hardest puncher is golly, I can't remember his name now. I fought him for the light heavyweight championship. Um, golly, what's his name? I told it to you when I was talking to you earlier. I just can't remember his
Uh,
name now.
Tavares Cloud?
Huh?
Tavares Cloud?
No, no, not Tarver. No, not Tarver. It was the other
Cloud.
guy.
Cloud.
Tavares Cloud. There you go. Tavares Cloud. Tavares Cloud is the hardest punching guy out of all of the guys I fought.
Okay. Uh, uh, going going back, is there any fighter that you wish you had fought in your career? Is there any fighter you would like to have? You have?
I would have liked to fight against um James Tony. We were light heavyweight at the same time. But he moved up to heavyweight division. I would have liked to fight against him. I thought he was a good challenge. But he moved up to the heavyweight division, so that fight never happened. But yeah, out of everybody else, not really. I think I fought everybody that was worth fighting in my era, except James Tony.
Yeah, because going now, we see your career is like people can think, is there any fight you never avoid because you fought the best of your time? You said it, Hopkins, Tarver, Cloud, Dawson, you fought them all.
Yeah, yeah. I always look for the best challenges and take it on. You win some, you lose some, but either way, that was the way to go for me.
Oh, and I forgot to mention, when you start to box, which fighters do you like to see or watch?
Well, my favorite fighter is Mike Tyson.
Oh,
Mike Tyson is my favorite fighter to watch. He bring power and excitement, and that's what I like. I like power and excitement. Um, so yeah, Tyson is the guy for me.
okay, I see. And now that you're a boxing trainer, now that you're a boxing trainer, how do you feel that you're transmitting or you're teaching to other fighters what you learned through your fighting career?
Yeah, I mean, now I'm teaching, I'm coaching fighters, and it's difficult to try to teach the stuff because you're teaching the fighter how they're supposed to do certain things when they have in their mind how they want to do it. So it's you're constantly fighting against the fighter opinion based on what they want to do and how it should be done. Because there's certain fundamentals that allow you to get the best out of your skills. And if you don't want to use those fundamentals, then you're not going to get the best. You might feel like you're okay, but okay is not good enough to be great.
Okay. And is there any fighters that you like to see? That you like to see today?
Say that again.
Is there any fighter that you like to see today now in boxing now?
Yeah, I mean the fighter for me that I like to watch is Crawford. I mean he's the
Uh,
most entertaining fighter for me. I like watching him. I think he is very smart fighter. And also I like his boxing style. He don't run. He moves just enough that he needs to, and he also attacks. So yeah, right now he's the best fighter.
okay. And where do you get the nicknames Road Warrior and Gentleman? How do you get them?
Well, like you said, I fought in Germany and England and um, Canada and a bunch of other countries in the Congo and some other countries I can't even remember right now. So I was always on the road fighting people in their backyard. So a reporter gave me the name the Road Warrior. I liked it and I stick with it.
Uh, okay. So, uh, and let me ask you something. What can I tell you? Is there anything that in boxing that you are not liking today?
Say that again. Oh, there's anything in boxing that I don't like?
Yeah, yeah, today, at least in the sport today.
Um, no, not really. I mean, I like pretty much everything. I mean, the fighters are getting paid more money than ever. The boxing is not as big as it used to be. I mean, maybe I would like it to be as big as it used to be. Part of that is because you have more sports now, more things to do, and stuff like that. But and also bad promotion, and probably the fighters not fighting the best competition might have something to do with it. But yeah, I mean, the end of the day, man, I understand these guys is trying to create their career the best way and market their value. So it is what it is. Everybody got to do what they do, and I wish everybody the best. And yeah, boxing is moving full speed ahead.
Okay, so we can end it now. We can end it here. So, Glenn, thank you for being my channel. It was great to hear you talk about your career, and well, the best of luck. And it was a pleasure to have you here.
Thank you, man. I appreciate it. Thanks for having me. Give me a chance to talk to your fans.
Okay, so okay, follow me so you can see more content and more interviews with great world champions and other athletes. Like I said, former great world champions like Glen Johnson. So, bye, Glenn. That's it.
Take care, boss. Have a good one.
Thank you.